Hey guys, Sid from Sid's Trains here, and today we're going to be talking about what I bought at the York Train Show last month. So in my last video, I talked about my York experience and how it was kind of different. It was more about just talking with friends and hanging out with people instead of it being about the trains themselves and buying trains. However, of course, I still go to the show to buy trains. York is basically just a large swap meet and a kind of like a headquarter for people to meet at, buy trains, and of course, like I said in the last video, just talk and just have a good time. But as always, the main focus to begin with is buying trains. So I'm not going to go there and not at least look at things and at least buy some stuff. So as you can see next to me, I have some stuff that I bought, and I'm going to be showing you that in this video. However, before I talk about the trains that I bought, I do want to just mention that the show was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of great people, got to talk with people at Lionel and their brand new Vision Line engine. They had a very nice booth this time with a lot of nice trains on the wall that they had there. And of course, the Vision Line Class A that they had there. It was a 3D printed model, all brand new tooling. They're not going to be using any old tooling based on what they said. And they're going to be making a lot of different models based on the Class A, of course. Not every single one they're making is 1218. There's going to be some other variations with different tenders, different side rods, and of course different cab numbers. So that's really cool to see. Of course, I talked to some of the main dealers in the hobby, which is always great to see that they're there. Train World was not there. They decided not to come, I believe, due to issues with COVID, which is probably a good idea. But at the end of the day, that's just how things go sometimes. And luckily for them, they have a website, so they were able to have some sales on their website. And then, of course, there's the private dealer halls where people are just selling trains privately, and that's where I spend most of my time. I want to look at what people have and, of course, negotiate with people. When you go to train shows like this, don't always expect to pay the price that is on the item. Negotiate some, talk with them, and see if they'll lower the price some, because why pay top dollar when you might be able to negotiate the price down some, which I always try to do. If not, I either just walk away or I just accept that that's the price that they want and I pay it. And that's just how, of course, that's how it goes sometimes with negotiations. But overall, really good time. There was also some layouts. I got a couple clips of this one layout that's in the Purple Hall. A very creative layout is the best way to put it. I'd say all the scenery on it is very creative, with like a jail scene, all these buildings and trains running all over the place. Very cool layout. And one of the engines I bought was actually test ran on that layout. So I'll be showing you that engine right here. You can actually see the tender of it sitting right here. And I also hinted at it in some Instagram post, and I believe it was actually sitting next to me in my last video. So now that I've got all that out of the way and that the show was just a great experience in general, let's go check out all the stuff I bought at the show. Starting out with some rolling stock, my dad bought this Clark Bar boxcar. Clark is a family name, and he just thought it would be cool to have a boxcar that has a family name on it, and it just looks cool with this kind of lightning logo over here and the Clark Bar. Very nice standard O boxcar. Moving along, I bought this Norfolk and Western 2-bay hopper. It's an MTH one. I love the little bulkheads on each end. I really like that detailing there. Overall, very nice car with die-cast trucks, and you know me, I love N&W. So I love any kind of coal car, but I especially love Norfolk and Western coal cars. So I decided to pick this one up. Moving along, this is a actually don't know who this was from. This car and this car have no boxes, so I just bought them anyways because they're really nice. These are both die-cast cars. This has a top that comes off. I believe this car might be an MCH car. I actually never looked at the bottom of it, but it was in such nice shape and it's die-cast, so I just thought might as well pick it up. And it's, of course, B&O. I love the B&O. Moving along, this car is also die-cast. This I know is K-Line. I actually have another one of these under my table in a box. A really nice car, has this cool scrap load on top, and was fairly inexpensive at the show, of course, because it had no box. And I love die-cast freight cars. Moving along, my dad found this Lionel depressed flat car in the Western Maryland paint scheme, and it has this cool transformer box on top of it that's actually metal, so this car is really heavy when you pick it up. Moving along, behind this signal, actually I can just pull it forward, behind, right here is a Martin's Guitar Company flat car with these wood loads on top. My dad saw this and he just thought it was really cool looking, so he decided to pick this one up. And then over here is just a bunch of coal cars. You know me, I love my N&W. Over here is my Norfolk and Western Class A, and I have more N&W motive power around my layout, and I needed more of these MTH 4-bay hoppers, and I actually didn't buy these myself. I was not at the show on Thursday, but my buddy Zach, or Joker's Trains on YouTube, was actually there on Thursday, and he saw these 2 6-packs from MTH sitting there, and he messaged me about them, and I was just like, pick them up, I really want them. So I sent some money to him, he picked them up for me, and they're just amazing cars. I love the way these look. So it's another 12 added on to the already 6 that I have over there, so now I have an 18 car long train of them. And I actually forgot to pull this one car over here. Over there, I'll zoom in. Over in the back there, you can see that back car looks slightly different from the rest. It doesn't have that circular N&W logo on it. That's the add-on car that MTH made, and I also picked that up. Looks basically the same, just the overall paint scheme and lettering is slightly different. So I picked that up as well. So in total, I have 19 of these MTH N&W 4-bay hoppers. I love these cars. Rolling stock wasn't the only thing I picked up for the show. I picked up some buildings and some accessories for the layout. Here are 2 Right of Way Industries flashers. I actually have 2 installed over here. I was actually going to talk about these in my next layout update. They're really cool looking highway flashers, and they're fairly scale. They're kind of like the MTH ones, and I saw them at the Trains with a Z booth, and I decided to pick them up. And something else that was also at the Trains with a Z booth was this building right here and that brick building in the back there. These were in junk boxes they had, and I was just going through their aisles, and my dad found these, and we decided I need some more buildings for the layout, so these look really cool. They're industrial, and we decided to pick them up. Looking closely, there's some nice brick working on them. And overall, I think I'll be able to do some detailing on them, put some lighting on the inside, and in the end, I think they'll look really good on the layout. Here's a close-up shot of this one. I think they look really good. So with all the rolling stock out of the way, and these buildings out of the way, and those flashers, let's move on to the engine that I bought. This thing right here. So the engine that I bought at the show was this right here. This is an MTH Chesapeake and Ohio Greenbrier number 614. The number 614 Greenbrier is fairly well known in the railroading industry because it ran passenger excursions in the past and still exists to this day. It's on display in Virginia in a different paint scheme than what you see here. It's in a presidential green paint scheme. It's kind of interesting looking. But nonetheless, it's a very cool engine, lots of backstory to it. I even know a gentleman who was a fireman on the engine, so it's very cool. Lots of history behind it, and I will be doing a video on this engine in the future. Overall, a very nice model from MTH. This is a Protosound 1 model, and at the show I made sure that the engine worked. The seller tested it for me on the layout that was in the purple hall, which was very cool to see, that I could see it run around more than just a test track. It smokes really well, has a brand new battery in it. Overall, just a fantastic model, and in my opinion, is one of the best looking Protosound 1 models MTH ever made. So that's all the stuff that I bought at the York Train Show. I'm really happy with all the things I bought. I really love these coal cars. I like having long unit trains, so it's awesome that I can have more than just 6 now. The Greenbrier is a beautiful engine. Been enjoying running it. You actually saw it running in the last video. And if you didn't check that video out, go check it out. Lots of great train action with all my friends at Chris's Trains and Things house and then my house. So definitely check that out. But to wrap up this video, I'm just going to hook the Greenbrier up to some cars and hook all my coal cars up to my Class A and then run the trains around for a little. As always, like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Comment below and tell us about the channel. I'm Sid, and I'll see you next time, guys.
Washington on track 1, train number 1, George Washington. Baggage to the right. Now departing for White Sulphur Springs from Cincinnati, track 1, train number 1, George Washington.